So we are back in our Affinity file, and I'm going to walk you through a lot of information today. I have a ton of notes here, so just bear with me as I scan through my notes as we go through. But we're going to start by opening up a new file once again. I do want to show you something and my goal here today is to help us to start to personalize this space so that it becomes easier for you to manage and create the things that you're accustomed to creating. And then our next time together, my goal is that we will start to work on actually creating templates that you can use again and again. But today we're going to sort of look at the building blocks that will go into a template eventually. Okay, so right up here in this line are actually two different documents that I have open. Okay, so it allows us to toggle between documents. And if you recall, this one here is the one we were working on last time we were together. And then this is one I've been working on. I'm not actually going to use it today, but we're going to recreate some of it today. But it's one that I've been working on as I've been preparing for our time together today. But what we're going to do right now, no idea what this has a big line around it. The screen has a line around it, which is very bizarre. What we're going to do today is we're going to open a new file. So I'm going to go up to new, and we can go new from last presets. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I'm going to actually create a new document altogether. And if you recall, in the past, the last time we talked about opening, I think letter ANSI. Just in my continued research, where are we here? In this option here for page sizes in CMYK, which is just the color format, are better options for printing. Now, typically they're talking about professionally printed documents, but it probably will give you some advantage in your printing, particularly if you're printing in color anything. And so we're going to use this. You can go down to that letter, but I'm going to use A4 as my option for this one. So let's just go down again on this side, the document settings. The first thing you're going to want to figure out is, do you want your measurements in millimeters? I want them in inches. You can use whatever works best for you in creating that. This is your color format. This is just letting you know that this is in different places, the colors are identified differently. So this is an image placement option. So it gives you an option to link your images. We want to stay on preferred embedded. We want those photos right in the document itself. We're actually going to go to preserve text styles here, and I'll explain that to you a little bit more as we go along. Importantly, we want to make this a multi-page document. We want the facing pages, so we know that it's booklet format. And we want to start on the right. That means that your first page, much like this over here, your first page is on the right. And so it's not facing another page, it's independent. And we're going to up this to 4 pages for our example today. You can set your margins here, and this little link means that if I change one, I'm changing them all. And so I'm going to just go to a 0.5 margin. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go along. If I only wanted to change the top and bottom, I could not use that link, and I could just change the top and bottom. Bleed is essentially, and you guys will know this from your printing, is that a printer cannot print to the very edges of the paper. And so it sets sort of an internal margin that we aren't actually going to see on the paper. So if you were to send something to be professionally printed, it actually gets trimmed so that white edge doesn't appear. And so the bleed it goes over the internal margins, for lack of a better phrase, so that when they trim it, you actually are trimming right to the color so that there's actually color that gets trimmed off. So you can leave this, and I'm going to show you what that looks like inside the document. Okay, so we're going to now create the document. So now we have these 4 pages, and this blue line is our margin, and this gray line on the outside is the actual, this little piece here is the bleed. So it allows, the last thing I'm going to show you today, we're going to have color, and we can bleed that color out to this line in order so that it prints closer to the edges for your purposes of printing internally, if you should go that route. Okay, the next thing I'm going to suggest, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to suggest we do a baseline grid, and this is for the alignment of the text on the page. So then, excuse me, it becomes like we're printing on a lined sheet of paper so that where the text is lines up from column to column or beside each other. It makes it more visually appealing. And so we're going to go up to view. We're going to go to baseline grid, and we're going to use baseline grid. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like and then explain why you may or may not want to use it. So we're going to show the baseline grid. This frustrated me when I first did it because it doesn't actually show up. That's because I need to change this to a little lighter. So now you can see the lines on the paper. So essentially what's going to happen is this is for grid spacing is 14 points. So if you're using a 12-point font, it's leaving a little space in between. So that anything that's over here printed out, it lines up with what's over here in the other column. So what you may find when you start to use this is that your font may jump a little bit. And that's because we're asking it to line up with these lines. So if you get frustrated, and we can change that internally in some of the boxes, and I'll show you that in a bit, but it creates a more visually appealing aligned document. We're not going to leave these lines up there. We're going to take them off so we don't see them, but I'm going to leave the baseline grid on. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go back to the master pages. And I know I was struggling with this last time because it wasn't working for me. And I think I have worked out most, if not all, of the kinks. So we're going to create a new master page. And we want it to be this 2-page option because it's going to affect, we have those facing pages. And so it's going to affect both of those pages. So what we do to the left page is only going to affect left pages. When we do to the right page is only going to affect right pages. Okay. So what I want to do on this, I'm going to do 2 things on this. The first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to leave it like it is, and I'm going to create this master page. And now I'm going to click up here so I know this blue line around here means I'm working in the master page. So this on the screen is my master page. And so I want to first create 2 columns. So I'm going to go up to view, and I'm going to go to guides right here. And I'm going to create 2 columns here. Now I'm only going to create 2 columns on page 2 and 3, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then I'm going to create something entirely different for page 4. I'm trying to think, because what I've learned is you can't do 2 master pages on any particular page, if that makes sense. So I'll show you in a minute how we're gonna manage that. So 2 pages. So right now, if you can see, I'm going to change this to filled. If you see how the actual columns in the document are now like shaded, that's just so you can visually see them. I'm actually going to change this to outline because in one of the in the last page, I'm actually going to put some color blocking, and I found shaded changed the look of the color to me, and I didn't like it. This gutter piece refers to what's in between the 2 columns. So I'm actually going to decrease that I'm going to go down to 15 here. And so there's just a little bit of space between those two columns. Okay. So now I have my two columns. The other thing I want to do in here is I want to insert numbers. So we are going to go, we're going to go up to text. We're going to go to insert. Where are we here? Oh, no, what do I want here? Text, insert, page number. Oh, there it is. Too many crickets. I couldn't see it. Fields. And then we're going to insert page number. Now, page number is not highlighted. And I did this in practice and I was going to tell you why that wasn't going to work. So here's a really good example. I actually need to create the text box where I want the numbers to go first. So I'm going to take this box. I'm going to create a little box down here where I want the number to go. I'm going to move it around. See if I can. Sometimes it's finicky when the box is this little, but this green, if you see right now, the green line is aligned with the left column and then the right column. And I actually want the center aligned with the center of the actual document, which is now it is. Okay, that green line showed me that. Now that I have a text box, now I can go up to text. I can go to insert fields and page number. And what it does automatically, you can hardly see it there, but it puts in a hashtag because on the master, there is no page number. And then I'm going to center that. So I'm going up here and I'm going to center that. I'm also going to center it in the box. So vertically. So it's now centered top, bottom, side to side. I could just make the box smaller. What I want to do now is I'm going to move you guys over. Oh, that's the wrong thing to move. Move you guys over a little bit. I'm going to put you on my other screen. Put this back there. I want to just copy and paste this box. So I'm going down to here. I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to make this box disappear. Hopefully I can get it back again. I'm going to go to my layers and so now this is the only thing on here really is these page numbers. So I'm going to highlight it or I'm going to click on it. I'm going to left click. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go into my page and I'm going to paste it. I do not want that. That is not what I want to paste. I'm going to go here and see if I can copy and paste it here. I will tell you that I had a little problem with this that I don't know why it's not copying and pasting exactly what I clicked on over on the side. Right now, I paste. I don't even know what that is because I don't know where that came from. We're going to delete that. Let me go back here. I mean, obviously the other option I could do is just create another text box. But that's not what I want to do. I'm going to click out of that and then click back in, and then I can usually copy it. Copy, paste, and it's still pasting this giant thing. I have no idea why. Delete that. Just see if I paste it down here. What happens? Because then I'm going to see if I can move it then. No, I've only got one. I do not know why that is not copying and pasting. I'm going to try it one more time because it worked for me before. Okay, now it's copied and pasted. I don't know what I was doing before, but now there's two of them. And I want you to notice that when I move it over into this other page, the red lines on the left-hand page, the red lines are at the top and the middle, and on the right-hand page, they're on the middle and the bottom, We want to make sure that's aligned top and bottom correctly and in the center of the page. Now we have columns and numbers on all the pages, okay? So now we're going to click back over on the side panel. We're going to right click on the master page and we're going to apply master pages to the pages we want. So we're going to apply these to, we're going to say 2 to 4, and then I'm eventually going to make a change on page 4 because I want it 3 columns, but we'll do that later. Okay, so right now, if we go on page 1, there's nothing on there because I've only applied it to page 2 and 2 to 4, but page 2, 3 both have numbers and they both have columns, as does page 4. Okay, so success in getting that to work. All right. Go to page 2. Okay, we're going to start adding our text, and there are 2 options here, and I think this is very similar to the experience you had with Publisher, but we have the artistic text. Artistic text is used for headings, for titles, labels, short bursts of text, those headings that Chrysander pointed out earlier. And when I insert that artistic text box, it's the things it's not going to do is it's not going to wrap the text automatically. So if I want it to go onto 2 lines, I have to hit the enter button to get that second line of text. And it's not going to flow from one text box to another text box. So where text in a text frame, the other option that I'm going to show you, which is the body of our, messages, that will flow from one text box to the other if the text overflows the box that we've created for it. But an artistic text won't. So I'm going to start to create, and I'm just doing some copying and pasting here from a bulletin that I just pulled some stuff from. And so I'm going to paste. So this is the title of a Teen Lenten Retreat 2026. This is, and if I change the size of this artistic text box, it's going to change the size of the font. And that's what's very specific about the artistic text compared to the text frame. Okay. I'm going to put in a text frame next. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start to create text styles so that you can start to create your own formatting that you want to use in your documents so that they become consistent and identifiable, all of those kinds of things. So now I'm going to create the text frame that's going to go under this. I don't know how big it needs to be, but I'm going to show you some other stuff in here too. So we're going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over here. Now, typically what happens is it goes in a text that is really widely spaced, and I have yet to figure out why it's doing that, but it's very easily fixed. So we're going to go to these layers, or these labels here. Now, I took color out, so this is falling at the top, but you may see it down here, depending on what else you have, and we'll add the color layer back in just so that we can see this. But for now, this is good because you can see it really well. So up here we have layers, we have paragraph, we have text styles, and we have table. I have added those in. If you recall, if I go up to customize toolbar, this is the toolbar. These are the panels that I'm adding in as I need them. So as I'm creating the space that's best workable for me, and we'll come back and I've taken color out, but we'll come back in and we'll add in color later so I can show you some other stuff. But for now, what I want to show you is we want to start to create. So right now, I'm going to take this text and I'm going to use the body text style that is the default for body text style in this document or in this format. And it's going to sort of squish things together and really make it as probably how we would want it, unless, of course, we want this to be fully justified. What I want us to do is start to create some text styles that are all yours, okay? So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to start with this. This is the text frame that I inserted. And right now it's no style. It's just that whatever I copied and pasted from the other document. I could make it heading 1, and heading 1 for this, the way this is laid out, is in Arial, it's bolded, it's 20 point, and it's centered, okay? So we know that that's what heading 1 is. Heading 2 actually is not centered, it is left justified, but that text box is moved over in the document, but that is size 14. It is again Arial, it is bolded. And if it was in the body of this text, it would go over to the side, okay, left justified. Say you want to create your own. You know that you're going to have headings that you're going to be using on a regular basis so that they're very identifiable and people know where to find them. We can go down here and we can actually create our own. And this is paragraph, this is character, so individual character. And then this is grouping. We're not going to worry about that for now. Right now, we're going to worry about paragraph. And so we can create our own heading style. And we're going to call this, we're going to call this group headings. Okay, you can call it whatever you want as you start to identify how you want things to look. And we're going to start up here with font. And you can, right now it's using the font that it was defaulted to, but you can change that font to whatever you want. So for our purposes, we're going to use, let's do something. Let's do the copper plate because I like that it's, well, actually we're going to use the regular one. We'll use it light. And then we can actually, oh, that's not going to give me a choice for, we're going to use Corbel and and then we can make it bold. And then we can change the size. Okay. So we can, right now so let's just make it a 14. We'll make it 16 for now. Okay. Then we can go down here. We can do some other things with it. We could change the font color, which we're going to do later on with another thing that we're going to work on. We can change the background color. So if we change the background color, it doesn't actually change the color of the whole box that it's in, although it might in this box because the box is shrunk to the size. It only changes right behind the text. So if the box is bigger, you're going to have this text line that is blue with white font on or whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you some different options around that in a bit. The other piece here that I think you're probably going to want to know is under paragraph, which is spacing. So this is going to mean more in the text frame, and we'll work on that in a minute. But whether or not it's indented, whether or not there's space before or after the text. Right now, we're going to leave this as no change. But if I were to put this on 2 lines, what you really want to make sure is this space between styles. So you might want space before it and space after it, but you don't, if you make 2 lines of the same heading, you want those 2 squished together. We'll work on that when we go to the next one, but just so that you know what that's for. And then, okay, so right now we're just going to use that as our group headings. And it is left justified. You can see that because in the text styles, it sounds like textiles like fabric, but it's text styles. In that text styles box, you can see where it lies. Now, you don't have to have it like that, but I think it's helpful to see where it's tabbed over to. Okay, let's go to the box itself. Now, what this box has done is it is already centered vertically. because I did that on a previous document, so it held that, okay? And it is aligned left. If we wanted to fully justify all, oops, not that, undo, go undo. We're gonna take this and we're gonna justify all, and then that puts it side to side, okay? For if we wanted to, I'm just gonna put a text in here that says another heading. Oops, it's fully justified, as you can tell. I'm going to actually not fully justify that. We're going to center that. Well, we're going to actually create a new heading on here. So we're going to go here. We're going to go inside heading. Inside, let me make that inside box heading. Okay. We're going to start up here at font. So I'm going to change that font to Corbel. You can change it to, I'm gonna bold it. And then you can change the font color. So if I wanted to make this red, I could make it red. And then I'm gonna go down here to spacing. Right now it's fully justified. We don't want that. We want it left justified. We could indent it if we wanted to, so we could have it come over a little bit. This is whether or not there's space. So I might want, say, 5 points before and 5 points after. So if you're hitting, going to the next line, it's not a full 12 point or 11 point. It's just a 5 point. It gives like half the space in between, so you can keep your stuff. And then what I want here is the same. I actually don't want any points between. I want 0 points between the styles. So I'm going to make that 0 so that if I were to have that 2 lines that they're together, they don't have that 5 points in between them. Okay. And see here where it's aligned to baseline grid, it might not like the way it's aligned if they're together. So I'm actually going to take that off so that it's not aligning to that lined paper grid that we had up earlier. Okay. So now I can do a lot of other things here. I could do drop cap on it. I could, hyphenation, all of that. I'm not doing any of that, but you can. And so, but I'm creating this. It's in red. One of the things that I couldn't see in there, which I would like to do, is I would like to make that capital. So I'm going to make all of those letters capital. I didn't find a way to do that in the paragraph text style. It might be in there. I just didn't dig deep enough to find it. Okay. So now if I were to take if I wanted this, I'm going to just take that little emblem out. If I wanted this to have to be that same format, I'm going to go over here and it's going to create that. And then I want it capitalized. So I'm going to go up here and change the case to uppercase. Okay. So now this is part in my text styles for this document. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to create a template where those textiles are going to always be there for you, and you know where to find them, and they're going to become the pattern that you're going to use. Okay. The other thing I want to do is take these are bullets. So we're going to go down, we're going to create, so I could just bullet them. Okay. I could do bullet 1 or bullet 2. The way this was lined up in the original was just sort of centered underneath this text. So for now, I'm going to create another, I've got it highlighted. So I'm going to create another This is now bullet 3 because we have bullet 1 over here, bullet 2, and this is going to be bullet 3, but we're going to put center highlight. Okay. We're going to go with a font. We're going to leave the font as it is. We don't actually want it. We might want it like semi-bolded just to give the font a little more weight. Spacing. We want this spaced in the center. We want no space before or after. So we want this to go to 0. We want this to go to 0. And if you see over on the document, it's squished these back together. And we want the same in between. It doesn't really matter because it's 0. But if I wanted this to have no, or a little bit of space after it, I could put in like a 3 space after, but now I'm taking this out and I want this to be 0. So now it's squished those together, but it's still going to give me 3 spaces after the last one. Now I have not played with this, so I just want to take a look at this, but this has bullet points. I don't actually want the bullet points. So we're going to take that out. And we're going to say, okay. So now those are centered. And anytime you want to highlight something like that in the center, you can click on center highlight and you're going to be able to do that. Okay. The reason that text is moving when I move this box is because if you recall, this is centered in the box vertically. And so when I move the box, the text itself moves. Oh, now I've got it at the bottom. I don't want it at the bottom. I want it centered. Okay. So if I move this box up, that's what we've got there. Now, one of the things that I don't want is I don't actually want that box around the line around the box. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember how to take that off. So that is, I'm going to make a note for myself. I know we did it before, but I don't remember how to do it. So, okay. I'm going to shove some more text in here and then I'll show you why I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do that on this side. And I'm just pulling up some text again that was in someone else's bulletin. Purple copy. Paste it over here. Now, if you recall, this I means that the text is not all in the box. So I'm going to click that so I can see it all. I can just adjust the size of my box. But what I really want to do is all of this, I want to go into body style. And again, you can make a new body style. You could do body 1 that is fully justified. Okay, so if that's the way you want it to go, then you can do that. Or you can just justify it here by going here and justify all. Okay, here I don't like that last line. I would fix that. For the sake of just continuing, we're going to use this inside box heading, and I'm going to make that a capital. And then I'm going to squish this box up. Okay, so now I have 2 boxes, and you're going to create your whole bulletin. And we're going to start to add some images in here. And so I know previously we talked about adding images using this place tool. I am going to suggest a new way to do this, and then I'm going to explain to you why. So we're going to actually start with this picture frame rectangle tool. So if I click on that, I have a couple of options here. I can just click in here and start to create, and this is just a placeholder. So if you know, say for instance, you know you want a picture here, but you're not actually going to put it in yet. You just need you know you need to hold this spot because you want filler and you're going to come back later. You can just leave it there, and then it's there just to hold the spot, and you come back and fill it in with a picture. I'm actually going to fill it in right now. So the other thing is, if you want that box to be perfectly square, when you hold this and you hold, I believe it's Control. Nope, I think it's Shift. If I hold Shift while I'm doing this, I'm getting a completely square box, a truly square box that I can't change and not make it square. Okay. So if you want the box to be fully square, that's just a little trick. Now I want to actually put a picture in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a file here, and you can't see it if this is just my downloads. So I'm going to drop and drag a picture in here. So for now, we're going to put, come along, we're going to put the bishop in here. Okay. Now I've created a rectangular box that's long and narrow, and the bishop picture is actually tall and taller than it is wider. But we have two options now that we have this box. This little slider actually adjusts the bishop's photo, like the picture that's inside your placeholder box. So we can do that. Or we can adjust this box to whatever size we want, and then we could fix the picture in it. The reason that this is a better option than just putting the bishop's picture in, which I'm going to just do here, I'm going to click. Ooh. Okay, so I just dragged the bishop's picture in, and every time, right now I'm still on that text box holder. So every time I click, I'm actually creating a new text box. So I'm going to go up to this arrow is the movement one. So you can see I've put a picture of the bishop in. There is a risk of, this one seems to be fine, but you know how you get to the point where where sometimes you're misaligning or you're changing the size of the picture? Having that text frame holder makes sure that you don't do that. So either way, those are the two ways that you're going to insert your picture. And so I'm going to put Bishop Fabro, I'm going to make him smaller. I'm going to put Bishop Fabro up here. And now what we want to do is we actually want to wrap the text around the bishop. And so I'm going to do this on here. I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to go to text wrap, and I'm going to show text wrap settings. And I want to make sure the bishop's picture is highlighted because that's the one I want to wrap around. And so you have your options here, whether you want it the text to jump on top of and below, whether you want it to be around, square around, or whether you want it tight. So this, I mean, tight is more important if it's not a square picture. If it's a circular picture, if you've removed the background and it's just somebody's head, which we could do, but we're not going to do that today. So for now, I'm going to pick square, and then here, this allows me, and I'm gonna leave the lock on here. So I'm going to actually increase this a little bit so that text isn't sitting right against the edge, and you can see it more prominently on this side, but you can see it on both sides. So that text is not laying right on top of the bishop. Okay. So now we've got the bishop's picture in here, and the text box around it. I'm going to adjust my text box because now it's got to be made bigger. Okay, I'm going to throw a couple of other things in here because I want to show you some things. So you know how you had, many of you, maybe not all of you, but many of you had around your document in Publisher, you had 346 pictures and graphics and artwork that you just popped in. We can actually set that up so that you have access to those photos and graphics and images that you're using on a regular basis. And that is right here under assets. So I'm going to click on assets, and I've set up a couple right now. I'm going to, just for the heck of it, I'm going to throw, let me just see if I can do this, because I did do this one. Copy and paste this guy in. So this is one for Blessing of the Throats yesterday. Okay, so that would have gone in last week's bulletin. So I'm going to just, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to create a new category. And we're going to call that category Blessing Days. I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Okay. And so now under Blessing Days, you can see there's nothing there. But I'm going to highlight this. So I don't want to highlight this one. I want to highlight this one. And I'm going to go up to these 3 lines. And I'm going to click on the bottom, Add from Selection. So now this photo lives here. I have already put diocesan things, the bishop's photo, the diocesan logo lives under Dio things. I've got the KFC logo under KFC things. You can create as many of these files as you want, and that gives you access to all of the pictures that you want to use over and over again. I know that was one of the sort of challenges that people were having in terms of how do we translate what we've been doing to what we want to do in this new option. Okay. I want to spend, so what I've given you now is an option to create some text styles that are going to work for you, your assets that are going to be just for you. One other thing I do want to show you is when you're in, if you're in this document and you've got fonts that you're using regularly, say you use Arial and then, so I'm going to go up to Arial and I'm going to click this little heart and that's going to put it in favorites, which is right here underneath. So you've got recent, you've got used, and you've got favorites. And then you like to use, don't do this. You like to use this curly font. Don't do this. Don't ever use this curly font. But you also want to put that in favorites. And now you've got, under your favorites, you've got the ones that the fonts that you're using on a regular basis. Okay. So we're starting to create a space that is yours and using the things that you're going to, or formulating the things that you're going to be using on a regular basis to suit your needs. Okay, I'm going to go back to pages because I want to go to this last page. And this may or may not work in terms of what we're doing, but if it doesn't work, we're going to go to a second option. I want to show you what I'm going to do with this. So what I want to do is I kind of want to recreate this page. I'm going to make it a little smaller so you can see it. This is the Windsor Lake St. Clair Family of Parishes page, a bulletin. And I kind of want to give you an idea of how to recreate something that looks like this. So what they have here is, so a couple of things to note. It's in a 1/3, 2/3 format. So we're actually going to create 3 columns to do this because one column is this guy and this is 2 columns. And there's no buffer between this, or no gutter, they call it. There's no gutter between those columns. It's just the text box that is jutted over a little bit. And it just gives it a more seamless visual. There's also color behind these boxes, and you cannot just take a text box and put color in it. We have to put a box behind it to create that color. So I'm going to show you how to do that and then how to duplicate those things so you can continue to do it. Also, we're probably not going to get to this, but we will eventually, well, I'll just show you really quickly how to insert a table and then you would have that. So if you notice on this one, on this page where there are 2 columns and it looks different, there is a little gutter in between here because these things are obviously not lined up. Okay. I'm just going to show you something. If I go in here, if you can see here where we're doing that grid line, these lines would be aligned here. So this text, they wouldn't, the whole box wouldn't align, but this line here would align with this line. Now, maybe you don't want that. Maybe it actually would be confusing, but just so you know, that's what we're actually creating when we're using that grid line option. Okay, I'm going to move this back over here because I'm going to show you how we're going to do this on this page. Now, on this page, I want to see if we can create a new if we can change the columns here. So we're going to create 3 columns on this page. Now, okay, it did. So it did create 3 columns. So we're overriding that master now. And I'm going to take away this gutter entirely. So now there's literally no gutter between those 3 columns. Okay. And I'm going to start to insert text. So the first thing is I'm going to do a text, the artistic text piece. And I'm going to just copy and paste. They've got Eucharistic adoration in English and French. And I'm going to paste that in there. And it's ginormous. So we're going to make it smaller. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to create another text style, but I would definitely create a text style out of this. But we're gonna center it. Where are we here? We're gonna center it, and we're gonna make the text white, which is gonna disappear off our page. I'm fully aware of that right now. Let's just do this because it's white. We want it white. Oops, come back. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a color panel behind it. So we're gonna go down here to, I don't even know what this is called, but we're going to create a little box that's going to go right behind this. Click off of that, click on here and create a box. It's going to go behind it. We're going to change the color of this box. Now, this is where I took the colors out, but I'm going to go back to panels and I'm going to add color back in. My aligning here. And then I'm going to go down to, I can't remember what it's called, swatches. We're actually going to do swatches. So I'm going to show you something really quick. Basically, what they've done is they've used the colors from their logo. So this is the Windsor Lake St. Clair logo. And now I've already done it, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to take this color picker and I'm going to color picker, come here. And I'm going to drag it over onto this yellow. And if you can see it's pixelated and some are darker, I want the darker one. I'm going to go on the darkest area and then it's going to create a color for me. And then I'm going to take this color picker again and I'm just clicking on the color picker and dragging it over. And I'm going to go to this blue, go to the darkest blue there. And now I have those 2 colors. And so for this colored box, and I want to go into my layers. So this color swatch thing gets put over, but I'm going to go into my layers. So this is the rectangle that I've created. And I want to change it to this dark blue box. And then I'm going to send it back so that it's behind the text. And I'm just going to make it bigger here. Now, again, if we were to look, I want us to look again at, this goes right to the edge of the page. I've got that on a margin, so I would drag that right over to the edge of the page. And in order to do both of them, what you want is you're going to click on in the layers. That's your text frame, your artistic text box. And then I'm going to, if they were right under each other, which they are not, we've got the master in there. If they were right under each other, I would use this. I would use shift, but they're not. So I'm going to use control and that gives me both of them. And now I have both of them and I can drag them. I'm going to go up here to that picker and I can drag them over. Okay. So I would drag that right up to the top of the page. So now you can see, so even that, I'm going to take this and I'm now going to go this control with the thing. So I'm doing both of them. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to paste. And it's sitting on top of each other, but now I can take that second heading, which they had confessions, and I can change this text box, and I'm going to copy and paste, control copy. Oops. And control V, and now I have confessions. So if you recall, maybe I'm like getting cut off mid-sentence. Okay, I should be sharing my screen, and we're going to finish off just this session that I was, there was only a few things that I was finishing up here. So if I wanted to take this confessions and I wanted to put it on a separate line, if you remember correctly, it is, oops, delete. It is, because it's in an artistic text frame, I actually have to hit the enter to get it to go to another line. I couldn't see it, so we're going to go like that. We'll delete that. We'll delete that little, and now we have confessions en français. And then I would add those text box underneath it, the yellow ones that they have there. The sizing of this is not correct. I would actually go over to here, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to fix the blue boxes. But again, in terms of text, I'm gonna highlight what we have here. I'm gonna paste it in. It went real big. So I'm going to just, for the sake of starting, I'm going to go up to text styles, and I'm going to put it as body. It's still really spread apart, so I'm going to oh, I don't know why this is, no, let me do this again. Highlight that text. What's going on here? Highlight that text. We're going to make it body. I do not know why. It must be, have to do with the way that it's been copied and pasted. Do this part. Do no style body. I don't know why it's not. It should be squishing itself together, and it's not. So exactly, we're gonna go exactly. I don't know why it's not. It's not. Ironically, I just want to see in layers. Okay, it's there. I don't know why it's not allowing me. I'm going to move it over and get rid of this just so we can work with it. Because what we want is this. What we want is that Saint Jerome. We're going to put that as, we're going to make that center highlight. And these all go, oh no, this is just this one. They have everything centered. So we're going to center that. And then we're going to do, this one is the same, that center highlight. And then all of these go under, we're going to center. Oh, I know why it's because it's vertically aligned, I believe. So let's do this. Maybe not exactly. I'm going to go 0 points and start with that and see what happens. Okay, so now we've fixed it. We may have to change the size of the font a little bit, or I don't know what this is. because it's part of the oh, it came, that ST actually came from this, the copy and paste. It was first, and so we're gonna just take that out entirely. But you may have to work with that. Okay, and then this, we're gonna just keep doing this. And this one is also the highlighted center highlight. And this, we're gonna go up to here. We're gonna go exactly 0. And center it, and same 0, and we're going to center it. And so now this box is going to go over here. Go here. For the sake of time, I'm not going to play with the moving everything, but we're going to want a yellow box behind that. So again, we're going to take this, we're going to create a box behind it. Size that box so it fits there. And then we're going to take this color swatch. Now remember, this is color swatches, and it's created its own, and I'm not really sure why, but it's okay. It's going to work for us. And then we're going to move it to the back. So we're going to arrange it, and we're going to send it to the back. And then this is really going to bug me. So I'm going to go back over to layers. I'm going to take, now the trick is, I don't know which blue box this is. That's that rectangle, and where it says confessions. So because they're on top of each other, I can hit shift, and now I can move that. I can probably also resize it. Now that stretches because I've resized this box, that stretches the confessions. So you may not want to do that. You may just want to resize one at a time, but that shows you what you got there. The last piece I'm going to just show is inserting a table. So here's your table here. This you can add that if it's not in your menu, you go up here, you would right click, you would go to customize toolbar, and it's in your tools. That's your tools. And so it would be in here. So you could drop it and drag it over there if you don't have the table tool over here. So I'm going to click on the table tool, and that table was, I think, five columns by 9 rows. So if I just go like this, I'm going to get a whole bunch of options that I don't want. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. You can see the menu there. I want 5 columns across. So now I have 5 columns, and I want 9 rows. And now I've created the table, and now I can pull that table to the size that I want it. And then you can start to play with the size of your columns. You can move them over. You could do the same for your rows. You can, hang on, I should have notes here about how to, I have notes here about how to edit inside your text box. I don't have, I don't have my notes open on that. So I will come back to that, how to edit in our next session, how to edit that table if you want to insert a table. So next time, the things that we're going to continue to learn, we're going to learn to create a template so that you're coming back to the same thing all the time. We're gonna talk. It may not be next time, but we're gonna talk about how to create calendars in this. We're gonna talk about oh, I've lost the third thing. I had another thing on my schedule in my brain. But if there are other things in particular that you want to know about, please, please, please let me know, and we'll continue to flesh this out as we create a space that works for you. All right, now I'm actually done, and I can stop sharing and end the session for real. So thanks for coming back in with me, Laura. I didn't feel like I was talking to myself. All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.